Okay, all right. I think we're live now. Hi everyone. Let me just start the TikTok live stream. Okay. Um. Great. Okay, we seem to be live on both sides. All right. Hi everyone. It's Global Scholarships. I'm your host, Az. I hope you're all doing well. Hi there. Someone waiting for us. Clearly. Hi there, thank you very much for coming here, joining us. And we're here with another weekly live stream. We are live on both YouTube and TikTok. So if you are on just one of those platforms, just keep in mind that we are also posting videos and doing live streams on the other platform too. I'm here joined by, hi there, I'm here joined by Ayman. Hi Ayman, how are you? How are things going? Are you okay?
Hi, Az. Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. Things are going well.
Okay.
How about yourself?
I'm doing fine too. Weather is better, much better. So yeah, we're all doing fine. So everyone, so this is again, like if you're new here, basically just let me show you. We are Global Scholarships. We're a platform that shares a lot of cool, informative stuff about like scholarships, studying abroad in general. We got right away a question. When the application to Europe scholarships will start for 2025-2026 year? Emin, do you want to start off with this one?
Yeah, sure. So mostly for Europe, there aren't that many scholarships because tuition is mostly free in most countries. In the UK, the Chevening scholarship is open. It closes on November 5th. So if you're interested in studying in the UK, that's the government scholarship, and you can apply for that. So provided that, if I remember correctly, you get one unconditional acceptance or admission from um, a university, but it could be three at
Mm-hmm.
any rate. So you need to be accepted from a number of universities, and then that's the most important criterion. But that's also for graduate students. You need to keep that in mind if you're an undergraduate student. Um, there are universities that give you some scholarships, but they're not that sizable. It would be in the UK, so it would be £5,000, £6,000,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing more than that. In the UK, tuition is not free. Outside the UK, there's Germany, good country, France, Poland, Hungary, to a lesser extent, Romania. Austria would be with the first countries I mentioned. So these you can apply to, or these are countries you can go for. But just remember that even though tuition is mostly free, uh, living expenses are not covered. So you need to be able to cover that
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. What a comprehensive answer. All right, everyone. So, if you have any more questions, just feel free to ask them in the chat. We'll do our best to answer them for you. All right. Which month the application will be open? Okay, that's I guess the more specific question they had.
Yeah, that just depends on the university, the country.
Mm-hmm.
Not all European countries begin admission at the same time. Not all universities begin admission at the same time. Admission for undergraduate degrees is not the same as graduate degrees, so you need to be a little more specific
Mm-hmm.
with that question. Uh, for the most part, I think for the fall semester, I think uh, applications are over. For
Mm-hmm.
the um, spring semester, however, I think uh, uh, admissions will open soon and then will finish around like November or the end of October.
Yeah, if you have a mind, yeah, like if you have a country in mind, maybe we can be more helpful. Maybe like we can look through our search tool and etc. Or like Eamon might have more information on a specific country. that might be a better way to go about this. So yeah, if you have a specific country in mind, for example, let's say, let me just show you our search tool, by the way. So this is our search tool, completely free. This is our homepage, globalscholarships.com, right? If you have a country in mind and you are looking for scholarships, you can come and type in, let's say, Germany, and click on the country here. It will show you all the scholarships we have in our database. As you can see, we have 60 of those. And then you can filter further. For example, if you're looking for bachelor scholarships, you can choose degree as bachelor. We have about 52 scholarships in Germany for bachelors. And then if you're looking for ones that are open right now, well, you can, in the scholarship deadline section, you can filter for just currently open ones. As you can see, there are like 7 out of 52 scholarships that are open right now in Germany. You can look for, like, we have other filters as well. You can filter for subject, you can filter for nationalities. This is basically a free tool for you to find scholarships all around the world that we have in our database, which is like, we have like literally there are thousands of scholarships here. Yeah, I visited this page, but I didn't find it for 2025, 2026 years. Oh yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. Maybe Ayman, you can give more information for a future point of time.
Yeah, so the rule of thumb is that each year universities start admissions at the same time. So even if you find for 2024, 2025, it will be more or less the same for 2020, 2025, 2026. It will probably be off by a week on both sides, but they're very consistent. Even universities, if you go to their websites, they just list the month and the day, but they don't list the year because it's the same every single year.
Yeah.
The fact that it's not updated on our end, it doesn't mean that it's not up to date. It's just that the new year hasn't started.
Yeah, also, like, if you see deadlines here, for example, these schools, like, you can surmise from that, like, it would be the same for next year too, for like that, because we have, like, in every page we have for the scholarships, we have like both the admission deadline, usually for scholarship deadline. So like, you can keep that in mind too. These might give you a better idea. If we are already studying, can we pass to Germany? I think, like, if you're saying if you are already studying in a country, then as a bachelor student, can you go to Germany? I mean, yeah, there are some scholarships. Yes, these are for colleges. These are for universities. Like, you can maybe transfer. There are some scholarships that will not accept transfer students. You have to be like a first-year student. But like, there are also some scholarships that you can apply to. Of course, considering that you are planning to transfer to a university and not just like stopping, like just leaving the school you already have and go and start from zero. So like, if you do that, you would have more choices. Ayman, am I right about this one?
Yes. Also, so if you want to just start over, whatever you did right now, so if, for example, if you studied first and second year of your undergraduate degree, your current grades will mean nothing.
Yeah.
You will have to apply as a new student using your high school GPA, because that's fair to everyone if you're not a transfer student. So that's just one part I would add.
Okay, thank you very much. It's globalscholarships.com. It's a basically completely free website. Yeah, we have a lot of completely free guides. As you can see, we have guides about scholarships, guides about studying abroad, guides about different countries. Like, we have like so many guides here. I cannot show you because of these weird frame rate. It doesn't really work. Yeah, here you can see like country guides, cheap and free universities, cost of studying and living in countries, language requirements, work visa, student visa. We have so many guides about scholarships, tests and documents, and etc. courses. These are all completely free, and you don't have to have like an account or anything. one last thing, I'm interested in studying in the Netherlands and Belgium universities. So if you can give me the month that the application will start, and thank you guys. You're welcome. Do we have any like month we can talk about right now? Anyone for Netherlands and Belgium?
I think it's usually between February and March of every year for Belgium.
Mhm.
The Netherlands, I'm not sure. It could be around May for most universities, if I remember correctly. But you can definitely check that. If you're interested in a specific university, you can go to our website, type the name of the university, and then you can see it right away. And then you can just keep typing any name of university that you're interested in. Maybe you can just try with a couple universities, see when they open, and then if it's more or less within the same period, you can have a starting point on where they more or less start admitting students. So I guess that's the best way to go about it. We can't specify months for a whole country because for the most part, universities operate independently, so they don't depend on other universities on when they admit international students specifically. I think it would be more or less the same for domestic students, but for international, the deadlines are quite different.
Right. Someone asked, that's is free university. If you're talking about a specific university that we talk about, like that, then you're welcome. If you have any questions, any other questions, you can ask in our live streams or like leave your questions at our comment section. So, hi there. Hi. We're doing fine. How are you doing? How are things going? So basically, there are some schools that are completely free, like that you don't have, you don't pay tuition fees. For example, a lot of universities in Germany are like that. Basically, you don't pay tuition fees, like a lot of public universities, but you pay semester fees, which is about like usually around 300, 400 euros every semester. Other than that, they're free. Of course, there are other a lot of public universities that do not charge tuition fees. Also, there are private universities that can give students like tuition scholarships that won't charge you tuition. So yeah, there are free schools, but like these are like usually the scholarships are the way to get that free education. Okay, I don't see any new questions right now. So usually what we do in our live streams is we go over a couple of scholarships and showcase how our system works, what kind of scholarships we have in our database that are open right now. These are the ones that are open for applications right now. Hang on, let me open maps too. Sometimes we want to go and see the universities where they are, what they look like. Okay. What are your thoughts about Southeast Asian students going to Europe? What about the language barrier? What about the job field? Also, there's one more question. What programs are there? Well, that kind of depends on the university. Like a lot of German universities, for example, are kind of known for their education, like quality of education on specifically like technical programs. So, like here we can go to globalscholarships.com and choose Germany and see the universities. For example, these are the universities like Saarland University, Paderborn University, Technical University Dortmund, and there are a lot of technical universities. And like you can go and see the university basically and see what programs they offer. But basically, any program they offer, they don't charge tuition fees. So basically, it's free in that respect. So you can go to universities page here. For example, we have the link for the universities page. You can go and look from that. Eamon, what do you think about the question on YouTube? What are your thoughts about Southeast Asian students going to Europe? What about the language barrier? What about the job field?
Yeah, so that really depends on the country and you as a person. Um,
Hmm.
if you don't speak the language at all, I think for most universities there is 1 year where you can actually that you can use for studying the language. They offer that 1 year to do that in order to overcome the language barrier. Uh, for the most part, in many countries, there are English taught courses, so you wouldn't really have an issue with your studies. But of course, knowing the country's language is important because you need to deal with people on a day-to-day basis, uh, in school and outside of school. So that makes sense. I don't think the area you come from matters that much, like whether you're from Asia or South Asia, Southeast Asia, anywhere. So I think wherever you come from, that language barrier will always exist unless you, for some reason, know the language of the country you're going to. As far as the job field, it just depends on what you're studying and the country. So in some countries, there are some fields that uh, are in dire need uh, of people to just go to those jobs, and in some others, the same programs would not work as well. So you need to do your homework. So you need to do extensive research into what you're studying and then see if there's a gap in the market, if the country is offering a visa to people who are skilled in that field or people who have degrees in that field, and go from there. So it's even harder to tell because by the time you finish your degree, you don't know if that need will be there. And if it doesn't exist, maybe by the time you finish your degree, the need will be there. So it's hard to predict, really. But you can just go based on the available data to you, how the job market was in the last 5, 10 years, and that will give you some insight into whether it's worth it to pursue a degree in a certain country if you want to work there eventually.
Right, thank you very much. So we have another question. For Germany, you should know the language. I guess they mean should you know the language? Well, about this and the other question, like the other day I was looking into. So we have something called like scholarship recipients section that we have. As you can see, we have like scholarship stories basically. So what I really think is nice that global scholarships does is that like it goes like it reaches out to people who receive scholarships and then get their stories and then like have them to tell their stories to other people. So basically these are, for example, only the ones in Japan. So I'm trying to integrate these into our other content, like our videos and etc. And one thing that you will, for example, in Japan, you'll always hear from pretty much all of them is that like there's a section, what would you have done differently? Pretty much everyone says I would start studying that language earlier. I would like try to learn more Japanese and etc. So like that's one thing that will always pay off. Like that will always pay off. And other than that, so in Germany, as you can see, I shared a link about like our complete guide about Germany, and as you can see, we have some like best English taught universities in Germany, and also there is hang on, we have language tests needed in Germany for international students. Those might be helpful to you, but I do believe, Ayman, correct me if I'm wrong, there are many programs that you can study in Germany completely in free. You don't have to know German, but of course like it would make your job much more difficult. Am I right, Ayman? I think that was the deal about Germany.
Yeah, that is correct. So all public universities in Germany are free. That includes English taught courses, so it's not exclusive to courses that are taught in German. You just need to make sure that whatever you're interested in is taught in English at that specific university. So
Mhm.
you don't necessarily need to know English to study, but again, you need German for everything else. So
Yeah.
if you're dealing with people, if you're having, so I don't know, so if you're opening a bank account, maybe, okay, so in that case, probably you'll find someone who speaks English, but for the most part, people deal in German in Germany, and that's just the case for most countries, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, you would need some level of German in order to be able to just cope with life in general uh, in Germany.
Yeah.
And that
Uh-huh.
applies to, yeah, any country. So you mentioned Japan and
Mhm.
students saying that they should have probably started learning Japanese earlier, and that really makes sense.
Yeah. For example, especially for Germany, now a lot of schools, public schools, as you can see, like, let me just show you. The ones you'll see in Germany, most of them like free education. You don't have to pay tuition fees, but a lot of scholarships, especially in Europe, don't really pay you a lot of stipends. So, like, if you go to Germany and study for free in the school, you would find a way to like finance your education, which would be probably like maybe a part-time job. And like getting a part-time job and going through it and working in a part-time job would be extremely difficult if you had like no basic knowledge on in German too. So like I think especially for Germany, like if you're looking for, or maybe in Europe you're looking to study in that country, like knowing the language might be your only way to finance your education too. Okay, thanks for the great response. Another question I have is that what are the courses from science background that will be in demand in about 5 to 7 years? Okay, that is a very good question. Ayman?
Um, I think for the most part, it's it has to do with AI, if you
Yeah.
mean that side of science, computer science. Data science is good. Um, these are some um, courses that I see a lot of students go in for nowadays. In general, it's uh, basically science that is more oriented towards AI because uh, I think after the recent developments, and by recent I mean starting 2 years ago, people started to veer towards that those kind of courses. Um, yeah, other than that, I'm not sure what I can really recommend. I recommend something that you're really into, because at the end of the day, it's going to be 4 to 5, 6 years of your life that you're going to spend studying that course, and uh, you need to make sure that you're actually passionate about the subject. Otherwise, you'll probably end up just, well, I wouldn't um be able to tell about the person themselves, but most people end up dropping out because they chose a subject where they thought it was good eventually for a job, but it wasn't for them. Of course, as far as science is concerned, medical subjects are always a safe bet. Uh, Pharmacy or medicine or dentistry are good, but I don't think uh, most universities would allow international students to pursue those in English. They're mostly taught in the country's native language. That's something to keep in mind. Yeah, so there are many tools online that you can use. Um, they predict. what professions will be relevant in the next decade. They predict the salaries of people who go into those professions, so you can use those in order to get more insight into this. I don't have the data, but they actually do. They have hard data. They try to use the data to predict the market in the future. So those will
Yeah.
be something that you can use. Yeah.
Yeah, I think kind of also like betting on that you will be good at something that you're interested in and you're passionate about in the future is kind of more rational than betting on something that you think will be high in demand like 7 years later, 10 years later. Like, because even if you are in a job that not in all that high in demand, like if you're really good at it, if you're really passionate about it, you'll do fine. And I think that might be a better safe bet. Also, like, yeah, AI is something that a lot of people are going into, like one of the like rising themes, areas in science. But also I think like energy, like renewable energy, sustainable energy might be also another thing that will be extremely important, because one thing about AI that doesn't really get talked about all that much is how much, like what kind of an insane energy need that it has. Like AI needs really a lot of energy to run. So like that will be another important thing, in my opinion, in maybe like probably 5 to 7 years. So I mean, energy is always will always be relevant, of course. So yeah, okay. If you have any other questions, just shoot them. All right. Hang on. Now we were talking about, what were we talking about? Yeah, our first scholarship of the day. Okay. Hang on. Hi, new people joining in. So let me show you how, like, let me show you a scholarship and like show you how our search tool, how our website kind of works. So basically we have pages for every scholarship that we have in our database, like literally thousands and thousands of scholarships. Sorry. So basically, this is our page. As you can see, we have pretty much every piece of information that you might need about this scholarship. This is Merit Scholarship at University of Tokyo. This is one of the scholarships that we're going to showcase today. We have the summary here, level of study. This is for bachelor's. It's full funding. Now, there are different types of scholarships, and if you use our search tool, if you go to our website and see like 36 scholarships, you'll see this one. Basically, we have partial scholarships, we have full tuition, and full funding scholarships. Partial scholarships means it means that the scholarships cover less than tuition fees. So like maybe it will give you a lump sum amount of like $5,000 every year or something. Like, it's partial scholarship, doesn't cover your tuition fees. Full tuition scholarships cover tuition fees, entirety of your tuition fees. Like whether the university has like $20,000, $5,000 tuition fee, $60,000 tuition fee, it covers entirety of that. And full funding means it covers the tuition fees completely, and then it gives you something more. Sometimes it's like a stipend, an allowance, a monthly cash award. Sometimes it's your accommodation, dormitory. Sometimes it's your health insurance. Like there are even some scholarships that cover kind of like a computer allowance, like laptop allowance, etc. So yeah, this is full funding, meaning it covers more than tuition fees. There are no specific nationalities for this one. A lot of scholarships don't really care all that much about your nationality. You can apply from like whatever country. All subjects offered at the University of Tokyo are acceptable for this. Basically, one like bad thing about this one is that like number of recipients is really low. There are just 10, and as you can see, we have the admission deadline here, which is December 10. So keep that in mind. Now, this scholarship covers admission fees, 100% of tuition fees, and a living stipend of 126,000 Japanese yen per month, which is about, I think it's about $850 every month, if I remember correctly, which I'm pretty sure won't be enough to cover your expenses, especially in Tokyo, one of the most expensive places in the world. So keep that in mind. Maybe like half of it, probably. So basically, this is what full funding. Sorry, this is what full funding means. Like, it covers tuition fees and then gives you a living stipend. If you want to see more about the university, you can just come here and click on the university, which will take you to our page for the university. As you can see, we have a lot of information here about the university, like the population, location. It's in Tokyo. There are some other scholarships as well, and we have admission information here, deadlines here, and of course tuition fee. Universities in Japan don't have like very high tuition fees, like about $3,000, $5,000, $6,000, but even that can be quite high for a lot of people, even though it's like much lower than a lot of universities in, let's say, United States, Australia, Canada, right? So this is the university. It's a really good university, actually, University of Tokyo. Got a very good alumni, a lot of like Nobel Prize winners, etc. So here is the university, basically, as you can see, in Japan, Tokyo. Again, one of the most expensive places in the world to live in. Keep that in mind if you're interested in studying in here in this school. And this is the university. As you can see, if you are interested in studying in Japan, a lot of people are. Like, from what we can see from our numbers on the YouTube channel, a lot of people are interested in studying in Japan, especially like medical school. So yeah, this is the school. If you're interested in studying here, you might be interested in this school. It's a very good school. And the scholarship, we have more information like eligibility criteria, which is like just be an international bachelor student or applicant of University of Tokyo. We have information on application procedure, and there is no separate application needed for this one. We have deadlines here, and if you want to get even more information, you can just click here at the end of the page to go to the official scholarship page of the university, official scholarship page that the university has, which doesn't give you more information than we do, actually. It's here, basically. This scholarship is offered to students of exceptional merit. It's a 4-year scholarship that covers the admission fee, tuition, and living expenses. Up to 10 students may be offered this scholarship. So, yeah, this is pretty much the scholarship. What? No, hang on. Eamon, do you want to add anything about this scholarship?
I don't think there's anything or much to add about this scholarship. The University of Tokyo is a very well-known university. I think one thing to note is that the number of recipients is limited to 10.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite the competitive scholarship, in addition to it being offered to all subjects, not specific ones. That makes it way more competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a great scholarship overall. Students who are interested in studying at the University of Tokyo should apply to this. Yeah, so other than that, it's quite straightforward. It covers tuition fees, your admission fees, which I assume would be the application fees, and a living stipend.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't see any other questions as well. If you have any questions, just ask them in the chat. I'm not sure. I think one, like, maybe I'm trying to understand what TikTok is doing. Like I think after some point it just stops pushing the live stream. I guess like 20 to 30 minutes of a live stream is good enough for them. Anyway, so again, if you have any questions, just ask them in the chat and we'll do our best to answer them for you. Let me go for our second scholarship update. Now, first one was for bachelor students, but we don't really, like, a lot of people are interested in bachelor scholarships, but like we don't get all that many of those. So the rest of these scholarships will be for graduate students. So this one is International Postgraduate Research Scholarship at Griffith University. It's in Australia. Australia is also a very popular place. Like it's one of the, I believe it was like top #1 education exporter, high education export country. So it's a very popular destination. Like but they also see it as kind of like a source of income, which is why they usually, like a lot of universities, Australian universities has very high tuition fees. But this covers the tuition fees. So this is for master's and PhD students. It's in Griffith University in Australia. It's full tuition, meaning it covers tuition fees and just the tuition fees. There are no specific nationalities. There are no specific subjects. Every subject offered at the Griffith University is accepted. As you can see, there's like a month of time to apply for this one. All right, so hi there, new people joining in. Basically, it covers 100% of tuition fees, your health insurance, student services, and amenities fees. So basically, it actually kind of gives you more than just tuition fees. But normally, I believe we classify full funding scholarships. How much the fees, tuition fees? Let's see how much the tuition fees. You can just click on the university and go to the university's page. Like we have like our page for the university, and you can see the tuition fees here. 22, 30, 35,000 US dollars. This is Australian dollars, by the way. This is the US dollar equivalent. So which is kind of typical for universities in Australia. Like usually they have not as high as a lot of American schools, maybe even like Canadian schools, but like this is pretty much kind of typical for Australian universities. And as you can see also, now this is in Brisbane, Australia. From our page for the university, you can also go and actually see the scholarships by going here. As you can see, there are 6 scholarships in total. You can just click here to go and see the scholarships the university has. As you can see, there are 3 for undergraduate, partial funding, again, undergraduate students. Yeah, it is way too much. Again, they kind of see it as a source of income a little. So like if you don't have a scholarship, it's very difficult to very difficult to afford, which is why a lot of students, like a lot of the students who go to Australia are the ones who can afford it. Now, graduate students get more like full tuition scholarships. Actually, there is one full tuition, but a lot of partial, one full funding and a lot of partial funding scholarships. So yeah, Australia is not really all that affordable. Also an expensive country to live in too. So yeah, so this is again, I was saying, so usually our full funding scholarships mean it covers more than tuition fees, which this also does because like it's health insurance and etc. But I guess like we go for like stipend. Like if a scholarship has stipend, then we see it as full funding, right? Amen.
Yeah, so if it covers tuition fees plus a stipend, that is generally considered as fully funded. I think that's the basic or the minimum a scholarship can cover for it to be considered fully funded.
Yeah.
At some point, we considered full tuition plus accommodation, but that doesn't really make sense. We did that only for undergraduate students, but yeah, I still don't agree with that. I think the minimum is a stipend rather than the accommodation fees.
I see. That also, that like that's kind of what confused me a little bit. Like why tuition plus accommodation is full funding, but I mean health insurance is not as like is not consistent as accommodation, I guess. But again, like if you need health insurance and if you don't have one, like it will really ruin your day. So yeah, we have some eligibility criteria. Incoming international students who do not have scholarships from the Commonwealth government, which is, I mean, not that much to ask for. We have application procedure. There is no separate application needed for international postgraduate research scholarship. And we have deadlines, as you can see here. And if you want more info, like one thing to keep in mind is that like we have under every page we have a comment section. And if you leave any comments here, any questions, Yanni, which is founder of Global Scholarships, will answer them. Like I genuinely haven't seen any questions here in any comment section that went unanswered. So keep that in mind. If you have any questions, I think like that would be the place I would put my questions in. So you can click here to go to the official page. Now it has a lot of information in the official page. Not sure how like relevant, important all these are. As you can see, we have like key dates, how to apply. You can click here to go for like new applicants, current candidates, and then we have quite a lot of information for like eligibility here, like selection process. We have benefits, which is removes the liability of the awardee to pay program tuition fees for the tenure of the award. And then allowances. Following ancillary costs of undertaking the HDR program are provided under the terms of this scholarship. Cost of a standard overseas student health cover. So like if you are planning to study in Australia, this I think you need to familiarize yourself with this one, which is their like basic health insurance coverage. Yeah, this is pretty much it. Like we have conditions, we have consideration, living allowance. Refer to the research degree scholarships for information on living allowance scholarships that are usually awarded in conjunction with this scholarship. So it's not a part of this scholarship. Keep that in mind. Yeah, this is pretty much it. Eamon, do you want to add anything about this scholarship? It's kind of straightforward.
It is, yes. Well, one thing to keep in mind, it's a research scholarship, and even on their page, they say that you can apply a maximum of 2 times in a 5-year period. So people might have to apply more than once to be considered. There is like a ranking process, and probably applying the second time would give you priority in ranking. But it wouldn't be as important as your academic achievements. So it's quite competitive, and that's why it's offered throughout a 5-year period. And students have the option to apply within that 5 period 2 times. Yeah, I don't think it's like the standard kind of scholarship that people go for upon admission. Probably it's one that you most likely go for later on, maybe after your first year, second year. You can apply, and then if you don't get it, maybe apply again the next year or on your last year. Yeah, so this is not just one of those scholarships that you go for at the time of admission.
Right. Okay, thank you very much. I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to move on to our third scholarship of the day, which is a graduate assistantship. Let's see. Now, if you don't know what a graduate assistantship is, it's basically being like working as an assistant in a university, being employed by the university. So this is in New York University. Not much to say about the university. It's NYU. Everybody knows NYU. This is for master's and PhD students. It's in NYU. Full funding. Full funding again means it covers tuition fees and then it covers more. Basically, like graduate assistantships usually cover your like tuition fees and then give you some type of stipend that like usually is enough to live where the university is, basically, because like you should be able to afford to live there so we can work in the university, right? So again, it's full funding. There are no specific nationalities, there are no specific subjects. Admission deadline is November the 1st. So as you can see, it covers partial to full tuition remission, bi-weekly allowance for accommodation, transportation and personal expenses, and health insurance. Again, it's kind of like being employed by the university. Basically, you go there and work for like 10 hours, 20 hours a week, and like there are different types of assistantships. It can be like a research assistant, it can be a teaching assistant. Why does it do it? Hang on. I'm pretty sure I muted this one. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for the feedback. So basically, yeah, there are different types of assistantships. So basically, you can be a research assistant, be a teaching assistant, administrative assistant. So you go to the school, work 10 hours, 20 hours a week, and then your tuition is covered, you get health insurance, and you get stipend. So university, again, not much to say about the university. New York University, NYU, is known by pretty much everyone who are interested in studying abroad. It's in New York, like 50,000 students, 3 more scholarships. You can get more information here about like the application process, about the deadlines, about like tuition fees, which is about like 50,000, 60,000, which is kind of like on the higher tier, like higher end of the tuition fees in both United States and pretty much anywhere. Like 60,000, it could go up to 66,000 US dollars per year. So keep that in mind. It's an extremely expensive university because it's a very prestigious university and it's a private university. So yeah, if you want to see where the university is and what it looks like, let's go and see that. Hi there. So of course, this is where it is, basically in Manhattan. This is Manhattan, yeah, okay. Hang on, this is Manhattan, right? Yeah. So here in the middle of New York, which is like one of the most expensive places you can live in, once again. So keep that in mind. So the university looks like this. This is the university. As you can see, if you want to study in New York, a lot of people want to study in the United States, study in New York. Keep in mind that it's a very competitive school. Can you make admission of those university? If you mean tutorials, like admission tutorials, actually we kind of did a couple of those. So basically, a lot of universities in the United States accept something called Common App applications. Hang on, let me actually show you what Common App is. Okay, so right, there it is. So Common App. Basically, this is a platform. I can't really show you all that well with this. Okay, so this is a platform where you create create an account and like give your information, which open now for the admission. I'm gonna get back to that. So basically, this is a platform where you can use create an account, and then you apply for, as you can see, more than 1,000 colleges, and a lot of universities in the United States accept applications through Common App. And we have done a couple of tutorials. For example, I remember doing making a tutorial, on Cornell University, which accept applications through Common App, which is pretty much the same. Like if you go and see our tutorial on Cornell University, you can use pretty much the same process, like from start to finish, to apply to, for example, NYU or pretty much any other university in the United States. Open now for admission. Yeah, this scholarship is right now open for application. So we are also planning to do more tutorials, like application tutorials, but I just didn't want to make the same tutorial over and over again for other schools saying the same thing. Maybe we can do like just one Common App tutorial and that might cover it. All right, so what was I saying? Okay, yeah, this is the school basically, you know, NYU. So yeah, and this scholarship, as you can see, we have like eligibility criteria. Just need to be an international master's and PhD student or applicant of New York University. One thing to keep in mind is that you get the scholarship after you start studying in the university. Like assistantships are not something that you apply for before going to the university. You start studying at the university, which in this case, in the middle of New York, Manhattan, which will be extremely expensive, so you need to be able to afford studying at the university without the assistantship. And then if you apply and get the assistantship, then like pretty much everything is covered. But you cannot just rely on the assistantships to cover your all expenses. They can cover pretty much everything you will need, but you cannot completely rely on them. You have to have your own savings, your own funds. So keep that in mind. Remember to apply for admission to New York University first before applying for graduate assistantships. Yeah, and then we have deadlines here. And if you want to get more information, you can go to official scholarship page for this scholarship, which doesn't give you all that much information. Graduate students can apply for an assistantship or teaching fellowship in some schools. An assistantship or teaching fellowship provides full tuition remission and a stipend. They don't give you the exact number for that stipend, but like it has to be enough to live where the university is, at least like in its immediate vicinity, so you can like go and work at the university. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We do a lot of graduate assistantships pretty much every week. We have another one. Some assistantships are better, some are worse. Can you show some from Australia? Sure. Like you can just use our search tool to go and see. Let's choose Australia. As you can see, we have around 200 of those. Let's say, hang on, let me actually look at your earlier questions to see. You didn't have one. Wait, hang on. Wasn't that you? Sorry. So like if you're interested in bachelor's, master's, or PhD, for example, you can choose bachelor's that are open right now, let's say. And then, as you can see, we still have quite a lot, but most of them would be partial funding. Like it will give you maybe a couple of $1,000, and that's pretty much bachelor in science. Let's choose science then. Okay, what science though? Let's say data science. Doesn't really matter all that much because like most scholarships like don't care about the subject. As you can see, like all subjects. So for example, you can look at this now. Yeah, I was saying most of them would be partial funding, right? So let's choose, let's say, full funding. Do we have any full funding? Not that is open right now. Let's say full tuition. We have about like 5 full tuition scholarships for bachelors right now that are open for application. As you can see, you can look into any of these. I think like pretty much all of these we have videos on our YouTube channel, like this Melbourne International Undergraduate Scholarship, Deakin Vice Chancellor Scholarship. So these are, as you can see, 50% to 100% of tuition fees, program enrollment. We get more information. I think we don't have any videos on this, because otherwise it would be on our page. This one, as you can see, it's quite popular by the number of comments. You can see here, like asking questions about the program, about the scholarship, and as you can see, they're all answered. Pretty much, like every single question is answered, which is kind of an insane thing to see for a completely free platform. Just saying, as a personal observation. So yeah, for example, this one, tuition fee reduction of $10,000 in first year, 50% tuition fee reduction, 100% tuition fee reduction. So yeah, I mean, there are no full funding scholarships that are open right now. Maybe let's look into ones that are not necessarily open right now. Let's say all deadlines and full funding. As you can see, we have just two. Humanitarian scholarship and Casey Koch scholarship in Monash University. I'm pretty sure we made a video on that. Yeah, here it is. So like if you want to see, you can just click on the video to see the scholarship in more detail. But basically it covers tuition fees on campus accommodation, 40,000 Australian dollars yearly allowance, one-time award of 3,000 Australian dollars student visa fees, first incoming flight to Australia during the first year. So this one is pretty much the only one you will get for bachelors in Australia. That is full funding. I mean, you also have the humanitarian, but of course, like you have to have a situation where you qualify for the humanitarian. Holders of temporary safe haven enterprise visa or asylum seekers on a bridging visa type A or E. So keep that in mind. Anyway, yeah, that was the graduate assistantship. I don't think Eamon has anything that he wants to say about that one, but like, Eamon, do you want to say anything about graduate assistantships? Basically, they are the ones that we see. We're welcome. We see every week.
Yeah, that is correct. So we talk about graduate assistantships every week. I think they are all more or less the same. Their work opportunities for University of New York. Just know that life in New York is quite expensive, probably one of the most expensive cities in the world. And the university is in the heart of New York City, probably a few kilometers from Central Park. So rent is expensive. Life is expensive, so all of that needs to be taken into account before applying to the university. Probably the stipend that comes with the assistantships is close to enough, but it just depends on how much you need to spend in a month, especially on rent if you are not if you don't have any accommodation. So all of these are things to keep in mind when choosing a university, its location, the cost of life in that city. So this is probably the one thing to take from that, other than what we say every week about each assistantship.
Yeah, that's true. Like, so if you're watching, like if you watched Friends, for example, TV show, just keep in mind that that is not a realistic representation of like how expensive the rents are in like next to Central Park. You will not be able to live there just by like working as a barista or something. That's just a TV show. Like that's one of the most expensive places to live in. So keep that in mind. Yeah, I mean, maybe like, even though I'm not from Tunisia, I'm not sure why that's the most popular guess that people have. Or are you the same? Are you the person who's coming and asking consistently if I'm from Tunisia? Because like that's the most popular guess for me. No, I'm from Turkey. Not sure why everyone see me and thinks I'm from Tunisia and not any of the other like more closer countries. But no, I'm not from Tunisia. Maybe. Yeah. my accent. Anyway, so yeah, I don't see any new questions, so I'm gonna move on to our fourth and the last scholarship of the day. No, you look like, thank you very much. Okay. I do look like, I know, like I do look like I would be from like somewhere next to Tunis. It's just kind of odd that like that's what everyone goes with, not like Algiers or Iran or I don't know, Syria, just like straight to Tunis. Not sure. I guess I have a Tunisian face. Doctoral funding at Texas A&M University. So this is for PhD students. So clearly doctoral funding. Full tuition, meaning again, it covers more than tuition fees. There are no specific nationalities. There are no specific subjects for this one. And yeah, there's no also specific deadline. You can apply anytime you want. It covers full tuition fee waiver. So like this university, if I remember correctly, not already all that high tuitions, but also like a monthly stipend of $2,500, which would be enough to live in Texas, which is already not all that expensive, like compared to other places like I don't know, like for example, Manhattan, New York, or maybe like West Coast, San Francisco, Los Angeles. Like even with this amount of money, it would be difficult to live in those places probably, but not in Texas, I don't think. Health insurance is extremely important in the United States. If you do not know, like if you do not have any health insurance, you just do not go to doctor. Like you can't. You just genuinely can't. And also additional study costs. This is kind of like what you would get from like a graduate assistantship. But the twist is that it's just for like it's just a scholarship. You don't work for it. So the university, it's in Texas. As you can see, it's a large, very large university, and we have more information about admission here, deadlines. Yeah, as you can see, I remember the master's tuition fee. By the way, like bachelor's tuition fee is kind of like a little above average, perhaps like $40,000, but like $18,000 is very, very, very affordable for US standards. So yeah, like 38 to 40 for bachelor's and 17 to 18 for master's. So it's still a good, might be a good option. Oh, hang on, why did I just close? So if you want to see the university, let's just see where it is, what it looks like. Okay, so this is where it is. As you can see, between Austin, Texas, and Houston, here it is. Where Texas is. So yeah, again, not as expensive as like East Coast to West Coast, and also quite close to Mexico. So like if you are interested in traveling to, so yeah, this is the university. This is what it looks like. I really liked architecture too. Like in general, Texas, of course, they're like being from Texas, they're really big on sports. Please, can you show us how to apply for some of the scholarships, like the Super KUSE scholarship? Should I go to college in the US or in Europe? But I'm looking for university to study bachelor. I think bachelor. Okay, so let's go for let's go in order. We don't really make a lot of tutorials for scholarship applications, but like there might be a couple of tutorials that were older in our YouTube channel. I haven't done them for quite a while. Maybe I will look into it. For Super KUSE scholarship, I'm going to look into it. I think we made a video about that one, but it was not a tutorial, like application tutorial. Hang on, let me just solve the puzzle real quick. I'm from Turkey. Yes, I look Tunisian and sound Turkish. Okay, I guess that makes sense. So I'm gonna look into that, try to make more tutorials on scholarships, but like right now I cannot show you because like it's a very complex process. I'm looking for a university to study for. If you are looking for like bachelor programs, like I would advise you to go and see one of our like guides that we have, like courses and application guides. Like if you have a country in mind, we have country guides that are like very comprehensive guides for like a lot of countries that we have. To complete university, I don't I'm not sure. I think like you mean like the 4-year bachelor's degree. You can look into these, or if you have any country or program or school in mind, maybe we can help you with that. Should I go to college in the USA or in Europe? Eamon, I think you can answer that better than I could. Of course, it depends on a lot of things, but
Yeah, that really depends on a lot of things. In Europe, you'll always, short of a few countries, you'll definitely need to learn a different language. So if you're willing to learn a new language, then maybe you can go for Europe. As far as Europe is concerned, although tuition is free, there aren't many fully funded scholarships. So your tuition will be covered, but you need to cover all your other expenses. There are more opportunities in the United States as far as fully funded scholarships are concerned. There are many universities that are need blind, need aware, that are ready to cover 100% of your demonstrated need. So you should look into those. If you have no funding at all, then probably the United States would be a place where you find more opportunities. If you can afford to uh, the cost of living in Europe, then I think it's better that way because tuition is already free. The quality of education is on par with most, or well, yeah, most universities in the United States, sometimes even better. So that's also an option. I think the one thing that is different is learning a new language and having to integrate in a new society, and uh, where there is this barrier of language. That's the only notable difference, in addition to the lack of fully funded scholarships.
are there any scholarships for Peking University and Tsinghua University for international students? Yeah, there are. You can also type in institutions here, by the way. Tsinghua University. I remember making a tutorial for this one, like application. As you can see, you can just go to our page here, right? And basically you can see here that it has 4 different scholarships. You can just click here and go. As you can see, 4 for graduates. So basically a lot of Chinese universities has pretty much the same type of scholarship, which is 1 scholarship for every degree, and like that is multi-tiered. Like it has like 3 tiers. One covers like less than tuition fees, one covers completely tuition fees, and one covers like maybe more. So like some of those are like that. Hang on. Oh no, these are all graduate scholarships. Sorry, no undergraduate ones. What? That is odd. Usually, let me see this one. No, this is for masters and PhD. This is for masters as well. Interesting. Usually, a lot of Chinese universities have those multi-tiered scholarships for everyone. Let's see, actually, Peking University. All right. So let me share the link to USA. Someone said USA. Are you looking for scholarships in USA for bachelor's, PhD, master's, or are you chanting USA? I have a degree in agriculture. Is it advisable to pursue a master's degree in nursing? So hang on. Yeah, here it is. So this is one of those schools that has just one scholarship, right? So university scholarship, for our viewer asked for Peking University. Basically, this is for everyone, bachelor's, master's, and PhD, right? And as you can see, 100% tuition fees for partial scholarship recipients, which is actually not partial. 100% tuition fees, living stipend, accommodation expenses, and comprehensive medical insurance for full scholarship recipients. As you can see, they have some eligibility criteria. You can go to the official scholarship page, and as you can see, we have made a video on this one, so like you can watch that on our YouTube channel as well. Like a lot of the Chinese universities I've seen usually have scholarships like this one. It's kind of interesting that Tsinghua doesn't have. I have a degree in agriculture. Is it advisable to pursue a master's degree in nursing? Eamon, are you also following the TikTok live stream? Or should I read aloud every question for you?
No, I'm following.
Okay, great. What do you think about this one?
Which one, sorry?
I have a degree in agriculture. Is it advisable to pursue? Yeah.
So concerning that one, generally, if you want to pursue a degree that you have no background in, you'd need to convince the recruiters at a specific university that you can do it. Generally, people do that because they worked in the field, but I don't think you can practice nursing without a degree in your own country. So it's hard to. There are degrees that are quite different from one another, that it's hard to shift from one to the other. So, for example, if you studied pharmacy and you wanted to shift to nursing, that would be logical, and I think most universities would agree to that. But from agriculture to nursing, not to say that it's impossible, but it's very unlikely that you can do that. Yeah, so the only other option, as I mentioned, is to have pursued said degree professionally, and I don't think you have done any kind of nursing professionally. So it's unlikely that you can do that. So for example, if you did agriculture, then you wanted to do marketing and you worked with a marketing agency at some point, you can send the university a letter explaining that you were working in the field for 2 years and you want to pursue the degree despite having a degree in agriculture. That's very understandable, but as far as nursing is concerned, I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, also, have you looked into universities? Because a lot of universities make it very clear which programs they accept from, which bachelor programs they accept from. For example, I graduated from international relations on my bachelor's degree, and then I wanted to study a completely different topic on my master's. So I was looking for different schools, and some schools were accepting people from anywhere, basically, any school that you studied, any program you studied is acceptable, but some schools are no, you have to have studied this exact specific program to be able to do masters here. So I think it also depends on the university, but I can't imagine a lot of universities would be accepting people from other programs into nursing master's degree. But do look into different universities. Some maybe will accept, because medical, especially nursing and medical, there can be quite different programs. so I will have to apply for a nursing undergraduate degree first, right? Well, probably. But like again, so I'm not sure which country you're from, but like there are a lot of different types of programs. Not every program is like 4 years. Some programs will accept. Some programs are not like bachelors or masters. So like maybe if you cannot do bachelor's master's degree, sorry, nursing master's degree, maybe there are other programs that are kind of like similar to nursing. You're from Ghana. I genuinely have no information on like education system in Ghana, but like in Turkey, we have quite a lot of different types of programs in like medicine. Like we have like a lot of programs for different like nurses, like operators, like a lot of other medical stuff, like medical science has very different types of stuff either. So maybe look into those. Maybe not not just if you are not that centered in just nursing. There are also other types of medical stuff as well that has like their own dedicated schools and programs that are not just like bachelors and masters. So I think there are a lot of schools in programs in Turkey, like just 2-year programs. You study and then you become like a medical staff or something, specialized in something. Maybe look into that. But also like a kind of like it kind of depends on the university, I believe. Anyway, so yeah, this was the last one. Eamon, do you want to add anything about this scholarship, which is doctoral funding at Texas A&M University?
Yeah,
They don't
it's
have a lot
quite.
of information.
Sorry?
They don't have a lot of information on their website either, like official scholarship page. As you can see, just as a general rule, all doctorate of philosophy students receive a base stipend of $2,750 a month, and in addition, tuition fees and health insurance are provided. So, like I think it's kind of very inviting for PhD students. So, like it looks like they're trying to bring in a lot of PhD students for research as well. So yeah, it's quite straightforward.
Yeah, it is. I think there are more opportunities at the doctoral level as far as scholarships are concerned. I think a lot of countries and universities invest a lot of funds into doctoral studies because that's where research matters the most. That's where a lot of breakthroughs are made. Yes, they do invest in undergraduate and master's students, but not as much as they do in doctoral students. And that is also shown as they also cover health insurance, which is something that is not quite common. You can find that in research assistantships,
Yeah,
which are also for um,
mostly for PhD students.
yes, mostly for PhD students and to a lesser extent to master's students. So yeah, you can see how much they really care about doctoral studies and how much they invest in those. So anyone who wants to pursue their doctoral studies abroad, there are a lot of opportunities. You just need to be someone who's into research. You need to have a project that is of interest to the universities that you're pursuing or even the supervisors, so you can read their research and see what they're into. And if you're into the same thing, you can reach out to them, ask them to be your supervisor. And if they agree, that's a huge step. When reaching out to the university, you can reach out to the university, say said said teacher has agreed to supervise me in doing this kind of research after you had submitted a research proposal. And there are a lot of opportunities in as a doctoral student. You just need to follow certain procedures, and you can definitely get a scholarship.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. So someone asked for full scholarships that cover full tuition fees. So basically, this is our search tool. You can just filter, like if you have a country, maybe then like you might get more specific results. But as you can see, there are like more than 100, like 144 full funding scholarships for bachelors here. Can I do a bachelor program in engineering in China and do masters in Italy? I think yes, right, Ayman?
I mean, yeah, it is very, very possible. Like, I don't see why not. That
Let's
would
see
be
what.
completely reasonable.
Let's see what kind of. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's it. No, go ahead.
I just wanted to see what scholarships we have in Italy for like masters. Yeah, we have some. Again, I think like it looks like Italy has more like full tuition, full funding scholarships as well. Like, I mean, of course, Germany has so many full tuition scholarships, but like not that many full funding. Okay, so there are like 2 full funding scholarships in Italy for master students. You can look into those if you're interested. University of Bologna, University of Padua. Both of which, by the way, are like one of the, like 2 of the oldest universities in the world. So like if you're interested in studying here, you can look into these. Also, if you want to study bachelor's in China, you can find a lot of scholarships for that too. China, I do believe like China has quite a lot of opportunities for people, especially people who want to study things like engineering and stuff, because like there are a lot of scholarships, and it's also not as expensive as other countries in Asia. Places like South Korea and Japan, you will really struggle for about like financing your education. Maybe not so much in Taiwan, but like you get a lot of scholarships in China. So like that's, for example, undergraduate Chinese program scholarships. If you don't want to learn Chinese, we have undergraduate English and French program scholarships in Shanghai Jiatong University, which is a good school, by the way. For example, you can go for something like this. Again, 3 different tiers, like 3rd class, 2nd class, 1st class. Usually their living allowances does not really completely cover how much you would need to live there, but again, like it's so affordable initially. Like for example, if you go to Tokyo and you need like $1,500 a month to live there, and your scholarship only covers the rest, like covers the half, you still need to cover like $800 every month. But like in China, for a lot of places, like you would need less than $800 every month. So when it covers the half of that, it makes like it's even more affordable. So I think might be a good idea. Global scholarships. Someone said M. Not sure what that really meant. Maybe more syllables, more letters. We are here. Yeah. What like? Do you have anything to say about that question about like China and Italy? This is a very specific question, by the way.
I mean, yeah, so as I said, it's very possible. There's nothing that would stop you from doing that. I mean, as long as you're the one paying for your education, it is quite possible. If you're looking for scholarships, it's less possible probably. It's not unlikely, but it will be very hard. But going from one country to another, where you have done one degree in one and then studying your master's or graduate degree in another, is very common. A lot of people do it, a lot of students do it. And I think, for example, it depends on where you live, but maybe a degree from a good university in China would mean or will have more weight than one from your home country, because they have a lot of universities that are high ranking. So it's good. So you improve your chances even for scholarships if you end up applying for them. Yeah, so I don't see why not. You can go for it. And unless something changes in the next few years, it is possible.
Yeah. So someone asked, when can I apply for the Qatar University Scholarship? And the deadlines are passed. So March 13, 2024. I guess maybe next year, same time, possibly. But for now, it's passed. Next intake. Let's look at those actually. You know what? Let's go to official scholarship page. Do you have any information on this one, Emma?
Not really, but the safe bet is it's the same time next year, around the same time. So
Academic
if the
scholarship.
deadline was in the middle of March of last year, it would be around the same time, like from the beginning to the middle of March of this year. I mean, of 2025.
Application utilized condition. How to apply to scholarship through the online admission application during the announced application period. Yeah, I don't see deadline here. Yeah, I guess the best guess would be the same year next time. And is a degree from Qatar University worth it? I'm gonna have to defer to you on that one, Eamon.
It really depends. If you want to work in Qatar, it probably is worth it. Outside, you'd have to see if your country accepts degrees from Qatar, or if it will be the same. So if you'll have an equivalent in your country, if you want to go back. So it just depends on what you want to do with your degree. Um, Generally, any degree from most universities is worth it. Um, so I don't really know what you mean by worth it, but uh, I think you're receiving education, you're learning something.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's definitely worth it in from that point of view, but I don't really know what you mean. Do you mean that will you have work opportunities later on? Um, in Qatar for sure. Outside of Qatar, I wouldn't really know. Um, so you would really need to define what worth it means, and if you want to know the prospects uh, of the degree you're getting, you might see what others have done with similar degrees. You might see alumni from the university and what they're doing. Usually, alumni post that so on their Reddit, sorry, on their LinkedIn. So if you go on LinkedIn, you can see that this person graduated from the University of Qatar, and then you can see what they're doing right now, and you can have an idea on what you can do with your degree.
Okay, thank you very much. Please can you show how to apply to Loyola undergraduate scholarship fully funded? I think this is the one they mean. Loyola University Chicago, if this is the school you're talking about, it has 2 scholarships. Only one is for undergraduates. It's academic scholarships at Loyola University Chicago. You can just click here to see official scholarship page. Undergraduate scholarships, transfers. Yeah, I guess it's this one. In order to be considered for any Loyola University Chicago's academic scholarship, students must submit a completed application for undergraduate admission. There is no separate scholarship application because freshmen should be admitted. No later than February the 1st for scholarship consideration. The completed application should be sent to undergraduate admission office by December the 1st. Transfer students must be admitted by June the 1st for scholarship consideration. So yeah, you basically apply to the university. Application, if we're starting a new application, so they have a portal. As I can see, you can just go here, create an account, email address, first name, last name. Yeah, you can follow that. I saw on the page that it isn't fully funded. Yeah, it's not. That's why I was kind of surprised. Let's see, it's about $12,000 to $28,000 per year, and let's see Loyola University's tuition fees. It's about $48,000 per year, so it doesn't half cover it. Doesn't even cover the half of it. So yeah, it's not fully funded. Like if you are interested in maybe this university or maybe any university in Chicago, maybe you could go and look up their page in our search tool, for those institutions. You can type in any university. For example, if you type in Loyola, you see all these institutions. You can click any of them, and you go to the page that we have for the university and see all the scholarships and etc. You just click on the scholarship. You can go and see all the scholarship they have. Like if you are specifically interested in studying in Chicago, maybe that might help you. Okay, so we have no other scholarships to showcase today. If you have any other questions, type them in. Otherwise, we're gonna end the live stream here right now. Thank you for joining us today, being here with us. If you're watching this on VOD on YouTube, I don't think TikTok has VOD, but if somehow you're watching, thank you for watching. And sorry, we are here every Friday at the same hour, on both YouTube and you're welcome. Thank you very much for being here. Same hour on TikTok and YouTube. On both sides, we share a lot of informative stuff, videos, and you can use our search tool and all our guides. They're completely free. If you have any questions, you can you can come and ask in our live streams, or leave a comment on any of our YouTube videos, or even better, just leave a comment in our globalscholarships.com website. Then Hyun Lee will answer them for you. Can you show how to apply for any other medicine scholarships fully funded for March intake? Well, we cannot show them right now in a live stream, but maybe I will look into doing tutorials on scholarships. So I'm not sure any medicine scholarship. I don't have much information on that. Ayman, do you know any scholarship? Is that medicine scholarship?
Specifically, no. I know that there are scholarships offered to all subjects. It may or may not include medicine. So you definitely have to check those and then check if the university offers medical degrees and go from there.
So basically, when you type in a subject to our search tool, first of all, this is 3,642 is scholarships that are specifically for medicine, and then scholarships that do not have any specific subjects. All right. So basically, if a school says this is open for all subjects, it will show you in our search results. But if you type in a certain subject, the first ones it will show you are the ones that specifically have medicine. For example, overseas student scholarship system. This is specifically for medicine. It's currently open for masters. I think you were asking for undergraduate ones, so let's look for bachelors. We have this one, dentistry and medicine partial funding, health, medicine and science partial funding, arts, business, engineering, medicine partial funding. So these ones are specifically for these subjects, but there are also other scholarships that do not have any specific subject. Like there is no way to give you a comprehensive tutorial on the live stream right now, but maybe we'll look into more scholarship tutorial stuff, application tutorial. Okay. All right then. Well, thank you very much for joining our live stream. I'm going to end the live stream right now. Ayman, thank you very much for coming here, joining me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye, everyone. See you next week. Oh, sorry. What happened?